Daniel Suarez and Trackhouse confirmed they are parting ways at the end of the 2025 season. Where could the driver of the 99 end up next year? Welcome back to the Breaking Bob channel. Hope y'all are doing well on this Tuesday night. We've got some news to get into, of course, some breaking news in the NASCAR silly season world. The main domino, it seems, has fallen. But before we get into all of that, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. I'm always talking NASCAR and racing here at Breaking Bob on a daily basis. But let's get into some of the smaller news before we get into the main story, of course, about Daniel Suarez. First of all, this weekend, NASCAR is going to be at Chicago for the street course the third time, probably the last time, even though nobody wants to come out right and say it. They even kind of floated the idea today that maybe we could change weekends, but this is probably going to be it. They're doing a street course in San Diego next year, and probably Chicagoland to keep that Chicago market. But regardless of that, really excited for this weekend. Going to be great racing. But if this truly is the last Chicago street course race, you might as well go all out. And I know it's going to rain this weekend probably, but we're going to have a great marshal at the race. The man giving the command at the race on Sunday, none other than Chicago's own Derek Rose. Now, doesn't get much better than Chicago sports the last 20 years outside of D Rose, in an NBA MVP, and again, native Chicago legend. I'm in my age, Derek Rose is a big deal, and so I'm sure that's going to be really cool for the locals to have Derek Rose out there. You got Michael Jordan as a team owner now. Derek Rose given the command on Sunday. Really excited for the Chicago street race, even if this will be the last one. And this is a really cool way to put your Chicago flavor on it. And on the Xfinity side, some news as Alpha Prime Racing announced today, they will have a 2-race deal with LeVar Scott of the ARCA Menard series to race not only Dover, but Gateway in the fall as well. Now, if you're not familiar, LeVar Scott, he is in the ARCA Menard series, Rookie of the Year last year in 2024. I think he finished second or third in the standings last year, and currently is in a 3-way battle with Brendan Butterbean Queen and Lawless Allen for the ARCA Championship this year. He's great racecraft from a young driver in LeVar Scott, and now he's going to get to make his Xfinity Series debut. Dover and Gateway, Worldwide Technology, I'm sorry, whatever you want to call it. I call it Gateway still. Regardless of that fact, though, really cool for Alpha Prime to give him this opportunity and to get him some seat time in the Xfinity Series. As young as he is, this is going to be a great way to learn on the fly, and not necessarily similar tracks, but Dover and Gateway, same style makeup there. You're not necessarily short track, but not necessarily intermediate, kind of in between there. It's going to be a good way for him to get that learning curve early at his age. All right, but let's talk about the main news everyone's talking about today. Of course, it broke this afternoon on Tuesday. Daniel Suarez getting out in front of the release that he will be no longer a part of Trackhouse Racing after the 2025 season. Both sides are parting, although it's really Trackhouse just releasing Daniel Suarez. We know what's coming. It's going to be young Connor Zilic, probably in that 99 car. If you ask me, probably a year too early, but the results speak for themselves. After winning at Pocono a couple of weeks ago at his first oval, even though it's a triangle, it just shows that he's really ready. And then he had a top 15 last week at Atlanta in the Cup Series in his third start after surviving the carnage that was Atlanta, even though he did get caught up in it. Who didn't at that point? But gonna be Connor Zilic in the Trackhouse 99 next year. But let's talk about the Daniel Suarez part for the first part. Of course, this is what he had to say today. Quote, Trackhouse and I have agreed to part ways at the end of the 2025 season. I've had some of the best years of my Cup Series career at Trackhouse. We had great successes as a team, and I gained some incredible friends. We took a team nobody had even heard of in 2021, and in just a couple of years, we were winning races and running up front on a weekly basis. Just like the seasons in a year, some things change, and we had to agree to each go our own direction. I wish Trackhouse nothing but the best. This 99 team will always be special to me. And like I always say, the best is ahead. Trackhouse owner Justin Marks said, quote, the role Daniel has played in the Trackhouse origin story and its first 5 years will remain a valued part of the company's history forever. His commitment, work ethic, and dedication effort is one of the most impressive things I've personally seen in my career. We will forever be thankful and honored that Daniel chose to spend many incredible years with us. We are proud of his wins, his successes, his growth of his brand, and his emergence as a valuable athlete in America's greatest motorsport. But most of all, I'm proud of him as a friend. I'm truly excited to see what awaits him in the next chapter of his amazing career. We're grateful for the professionalism, effort, and heart he's brought to our organization. Really nice words from Justin Marks, the owner at Trackhouse, and I think he really has heart behind it. You look at the beginning of Trackhouse. Daniel Suarez has been there since day one when they unveiled themselves as a team. They leased a charter from Spire Motorsports in 2021 as a one-car operation before ultimately buying up Chip Ganassi Racing and expanding as a 2-car field with Daniel Suarez and Ross Chastain. But A lot of people forget that one car team back in 2021 when they were just driving under the Spire Motorsports charter. They've come a long way, and Daniel Suarez has a major part of that. And a lot of people are going to say, well, when Pitbull left the team in February, that was the writing on the wall. I disagree. I think it's the lazy way to put it. It's just musical chairs, and you have Connor Zilic waiting in the wings, a generational prospect, and we use that word so often, but Connor Zilic truly is a generational prospect. It's tough to fight that, and you've got Shane Van Gisbergen, who 2 years ago wasn't even in the NASCAR world. It's tough for Daniel Suarez to really look at the fabric and makeup of Trackhouse racing compared to what it was a couple of years ago, but that's ultimately what the motorsports world is. It's ever evolving and it's always changing. You're never safe. And this guy is 30th in the point standings coming into this weekend at Chicago. No wins since Atlanta last year, where he won 3 wide, and he also won at Sonoma a couple of years ago. Multi-time winner, but this is his 5th year at Trackhouse. Been at multiple Cup teams before this, and it hasn't panned out. He's a great driver, brings a lot of sponsorship, fan-friendly, but ultimately some things just it's time to make the break. You saw it with Corey LaJoie Spire last year, and I think Daniel Suarez is more talented to that level, but it's the same sort of principle. You could even tell the way Suarez talked last week, saying there's a lot up in the air still. You could tell he was uncomfortable, especially after getting through that Mexico week finally. Trackhouse finally got through that and said, okay, now we can finally look toward the future. And the way Suarez talked on his Sirius XM interview today, it was very interesting. Listen to this.
Because this is not a sad moment; it's just a change, and it happens. This is not something new for me. I have known about this for a while, and it just happens to be official today. But I'm actually kind of, in a way, a little bit relieved that it's already out, and people know about it, and we can talk about it, and we can move forward with future plans, and yeah, continue to work.
I understand the relief. I truly get it. And now he can look forward to his future. And now I ask the question, what is the future for Daniel Suarez? And is there a real chance at him driving in the Cup Series next year on a full-time basis? I don't really see an opportunity right now. All the opportunities are taken, and there's too many prospects waiting in the wings like Connor Zilic. If anyone else is going to get an opportunity, it's going to be Corey Heim probably in the Toyota camp. So tough for Daniel Suarez. Maybe Colleague opens up that second car if Ty Dillon doesn't come back, but Ty Dillon hasn't run that bad, and he's coming off beating Denny Hamlin in the bracket challenge. So not a lot of opportunities in the Cup Series for Daniel Suarez. Potentially, maybe he'll go down to the Xfinity Series in a competitive ride and bringing sponsorship. Wouldn't be the worst thing for him. A lot of people are saying maybe he can seat swap with Connor Zilic and JRM. It's going to be a hotly contested ride one way or the other. I don't know if that's going to be the easiest solution there, but it would make sense on a monetary side for sure. Perhaps you see him go to Colleague Racing on the Xfinity side. I know Josh Williams hasn't performed great, or maybe Nick Sanchez gets promoted out of that big machine seat one way or the other Cup or another Xfinity team, and you could see Daniel Suarez maybe down at the big machine 48 team. It's hard to say right now because it's so early on in the silly season. We don't really know where the cards are even going to fall, so it's hard to project that. But for Daniel Suarez, I don't see him in the Cup next year, and it's disappointing. It's sad, but I think he'll be able to cycle through and potentially work his way back to Cup potentially in the future when seats open up and opportunities arise. But let me know your thoughts down below. Daniel Suarez and Trackhouse parting ways after this season. Where do you think he ends up? LeVar Scott will be in the Xfinity Series for 2 races, and then Derek Rose in Chicago, not on the court. No, his ACLs can't handle that, but he will be giving the command on Sunday. As always, if you like what you saw, like this video. It helps me out a ton. Subscribe to Breaking Bob for more content. I'll see you soon for more NASCAR news. Stay tuned for more. Thanks for watching.